From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time now for The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, of course, from Tommy Mac's Place, and brought to you by the Firewatch.org, a veteran suicide prevention program that we are very honored to have on this show. Let's say hello to the panel. Wally Conway leads us off. How are you, Wally?
Happy to be here.
Good to see you, my man.
Thought you were taking my drink. Yeah, BodyAqua.
I like it. Very tasty.
I thought you were grabbing mine.
Easy, buddy. Easy. Dr. Kim Bynum's here from Operation New Uniform. How
Thanks
are you?
for having me.
Great to have you as well. You're trying the new drink out. Sherman Williams, who created BodyAqua. He is here as well. And I love the fact that it's disabled, veteran owned.
One and only, I gotta let people know.
That's right, no doubt about it. And Calvin Dawson is here as well. Hey, Cal.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing
Thanks
great.
for being on the show. First of all, thanks everyone for your service. I say that from the bottom of my heart. You guys like hearing that? Is that always a good thing?
It's always a good thing.
Does it bother you?
It depends who it comes from, because sometimes
Okay.
it's just generic. You seen it's just like
Not genuine or not
Oh,
authentic. Just
okay.
kind of a lip service.
So let me give you. Yesterday, I took my mother to Publix. She's going to be 90 in April to get her vaccine shot, and we had to wait a little bit. And we're sitting up front, and a gentleman walks in his full fatigue. So I said, "Hey, thank you for your service." And he said, "Oh, thank you, sir." And he walked in. I was like, "Well, I was genuine. I mean, I really meant it. Like, thank you." So hopefully, people when they say it, they're genuine every single time, right? Makes you feel good.
It does.
Right?
But you can tell in the voice, right? I
Yeah.
know I can.
Yeah, you
So
can.
I know. I from what you just said, I would have felt it. And as you said, I appreciate it as well.
Yeah, good.
Because you
Well,
went
I
out
do.
of your way. You went out of your way to recognize that service.
You know, in people's defense, I don't know if they know if they should or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't know if I always say hello, so I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Thanks for your service." That type
Right,
of thing. But anyway,
Well, I think if you ask a Vietnam vet that maybe didn't have that same experience,
right.
they would
Oh,
certainly
God bless.
appreciate
Yeah.
every single
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
So we're a little spoiled that people
Yeah.
are thanking us for our service period.
So how's it going at Operation New Uniform? You guys are doing some tremendous work.
We are loving it. So Operation New Uniform is expanding nationally. We are so excited. 6 years old, and the first couple of years we were just Northeast Florida.
Yep.
And COVID, one of the good things from COVID was that we expanded to include some virtual component. We've had people fly in,
Great.
all kinds of places, Washington State, New York,
Yep.
all kinds of places.
And you're helping veterans transition, right, out of the military life into civilian life, correct?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so what we found is when military get out, the doors open. We can do anything. We got an entrepreneur here, and I love to see that. But sometimes this can be a difficult transition.
No doubt.
You know, one of the things that we found is if we can help veterans find the fulfilling career, then it can really stop some of those other things from happening that are just triggers, right? You don't have a
Yes.
job, you can't provide for your family. The next thing you know, marriage is tough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Substance abuse,
Right.
suicide, even Firewatch.
No
we
doubt.
collaborate with them. So
Yeah. Sherman, you went the entrepreneurial route. Were you always an entrepreneur? Did you always have that spirit, or how'd you come about with that?
I did. When I grew up, I always said I'm going to have a lot of money when I grow up. But I think everyone said
and then
that.
you join the army.
but no, I mean, growing up in South Carolina, it was just hard. I mean, even my parents didn't talk about college, anything like that. And then I said, you know what? I want to be on my own. Moved out on my own and realized this is hard as hell. So I'm like, you know what? I called the recruiter. They didn't call me. I need to get out of South Carolina.
Yep. So
once that happened, it really changed my whole outlook on life because I didn't go to the East Coast. But I went to Germany.
East Coast, West Coast.
You know, I went to a different country.
Right.
And then even then, I'm like, wow, because we have this statement about what we look like. But there was just a
They don't care.
regular person. It was
Yeah, right.
it was awesome. It was like, man, this is great. And I stayed there 10 years.
Did
It's
you
been
really?
great.
Yeah. I can't blame you. Tell us about BodyAqua. How old is she, and
Ooh.
what's the latest?
So
Tastes great, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Highly recommend. Highly
So
recommend.
BodyAqua is through adversity that happened actually in the military. So 12 years in the making. So first 6 years prior to that, I was also already in the military, still in. Actually, didn't been the truth, but I had to take some leave because I had family emergencies that was
Family emergencies.
in the line of doing what I need to do for this. But it was an extremely difficult road. But out of everything that happened, because you've been to combat, for those that has PTSD, things of that nature that I'm going through now, but through the triggers of what I went through, as in Scud missiles with chemicals,
Right.
The burning pits, which is registered. I don't know why registered, because nothing happens from that, but just in the registry. But also from the heat and cold that you just go through. Everyone's skin just changed. It's just nothing we could consume to help that, because our body is 70% water, but it's not getting the hydration and key nutrients. So from that, especially the moment of not thinking I was going to live through that, because we was in a firefight. This is crazy, because we do all this training, and you're supposed to do, bull runs, like you go here, you go here. If somebody fires at us, forget that. People just went everywhere. They were like, oh, what's going on? I don't want to die. And it's crazy, because we wasn't infantry, even though we're all labeled as infantry. We was actually a maintenance support team, so we didn't train like that on a regular basis. So in that, we cleaned our weapon, but of course, my weapon jammed. I was so scared. I said, I'm going to die. Lord, please help me. I mean, I found faith on another level that day.
I bet.
To the third power.
Yep.
But in that, that triggered something. I know I heard something said, water that helps. And from that, I remembered, wrote it down, and I just kept at it. 12 years later, mind you, was iteration, first beverage for your skin, which is trademark, and a fitness beverage, not a sports drink. Vegan friendly, diabetic friendly. Ooh. I want it for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
And affordable.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Calvin, you went the entrepreneurial route as well, huh?
I did.
You start a league of flag football for young girls.
Yes, flag football league for young girls. We started in November, but for tax purposes, it officially started January 1st.
You started January.
January 1st. Yeah.
Disclaimer. January 1st. And how's that going, man?
It's going
That's
great.
Cool.
It's going great.
Are you a ball player? Did you play ball?
I did play ball.
Where'd you play it?
I played at Middlesex County College.
Okay, cool. Where are you from?
I'm from New York City.
Okay. Wow. All
So
right.
do you have daughters? I'm really curious.
I have one daughter on the way.
On the way. All right. Congrats.
That's
I
like
have
the
3,
draft.
and there's nothing better. What'd you say?
That's like the draft.
It's a feeder program.
I look at all my players as my daughters. I treat them as a father figure. And,
Sure.
Because I feel like our young girls right now, we're in some trouble right now.
Yeah.
So I've been coaching since about 2007.
Okay.
So I've always been worried about the boys, but now I kind of like look past the young girls.
Yep.
But it's time for us to like really start taking care of our young girls.
Totally. And look, my girls are in dance, right? I don't care if it's dance, I don't care if it's sports, drama, whatever it is. All kids need to be doing something other than school.
Right.
I don't care if you play chess,
Right.
whatever it is. You're in the chess club, whatever that is. By the way, anybody seen the Queen's Gambit yet?
Oh my God.
Wow! Holy
Crazy.
cow! My wife's like, "Did you ever play chess?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." That's unbelievable. But it's great what you're doing, because all our young kids, girls, boys, whatever, they need to be involved in something that keeps them out of trouble.
Right.
I mean, I sit around with the dance from time to time. We're like, "Hey, they're out of trouble."
That's right.
Because they're dancing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They are. They're gone all the time
They don't have
dancing.
time for boys.
Well,
none
they
of that.
find time, trust me. They're McManus.
What do you wear with the dance dads? I'm just curious.
What's that?
What's the appropriate dress?
Well, it depends what I'm doing. So I've played 2 roles in the recital in the past. I was King Triton, which I'll never do again because they make me keep my shirt off the entire time. And now that I'm 50, I think that's past. I should let that one go. So.
Just don't breathe the whole time.
Right, and then I was
breathing.
Gaston.
Really?
And I had to act Gaston out, which was pretty good. I like doing that stuff. But then sometimes I'm just the prop dad, where I wear the T-shirt that says Nancy Dance Studios, and we move props. So whatever it may be. Let's talk about transition. I'm going to start with you, Calvin, because every time on this show we talk about the transition from military life to civilian life. What was it like for you? How'd you get through? Are you still battling? What you personally?
I'm not even gonna lie. That's like the toughest part of a veteran is the transition, especially when like you make high rank.
Yep.
And you're a leader of so many people, and then it's like you feel like you're just going back to the bottom. It's kind of like an ego thing to me a little bit, but it was hard. How I got through it was I just made a plan. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to school. I'm just gonna go to school. I try to do like the little odd jobs and work at Walmart and stuff like that.
Yep.
But then as soon as somebody gave me some type of, like, soon as I got into a situation where it was like maybe a little too much for me, I was like, no, I'm out.
Right. Right.
And I think that's where the ego kicks in. But it was hard. And then even being in school, like for like the first, when I was doing my undergrad, for my entire undergrad, I went to the professor, I said, I need a chair in the back of the classroom.
Yep.
Just please leave me alone. I don't want to do no group work, no nothing. I had some professors that were like, oh, you think you... It wasn't like that. I was like, I don't care if it was 100-page paper. I will do it by myself.
Right.
But like I said, it's the little ego, and it was a little rough. It was rough, man.
You know, it's funny. I remember after my football career was over, getting yelled at by a boss. I was like, my coach is only yelling at me. Who are you yelling at? You're yelling at me. You know, I'll take a coach yelling in my face all day long. You can even spit at me if you have to, you know. But I don't know. It is. But a lot of it was ego, right? And that might be a big part of the transition.
Right.
You agree?
For me, it's a little different. I think I was able to always find and keep myself separate from just being a soldier. So a lot of time, because when you come in, they break you down. You know, all of the things you go through the training and exercises, and you lose yourself. You're part of the machine, you know, and you're here to do a job and service, and that's, if it takes life, limb, sanity, it happens. But I was able to always have myself, Sherman Williams, and then Captain Williams. But before then was Sergeant Williams, and then Private Williams. But anyway, you know, all of those things. But in that, I always knew what I wanted to do, and I had started this project way before I got out, and actually I got into Whole Foods while I was in.
Okay, cool.
You know, but when you try to do good, and leaders see that you're trying to strive, they make it really hard for you. Yep. So for me, I had other things saying, you know, you can't solicit to soldiers. You outrank them. You can't. I'm like, oh, great. What is this? How am I going to make any money? Right. You know? So I'm like, they were buying it. So got it in there. Got it on Amazon. And just so many things. And then from the flea market. And now I'm in Walmart.
Cool.
But
Congrats.
Even working through that, it's just knowing who you are. And it's still hard because I still got PTSD and other things. But I think me always staying busy was able to keep my sanity. But as soon as I slowed down, I started thinking about all that stuff, which I really don't want to think about.
No doubt.
Yeah.
The transition, I keep hearing, is key when you work on it while you're still active to help you when you're not.
To be successful. And you know, and I just want to say I completely agree with Calvin as far as the most terrifying thing that I did in my 21 years. I mean, we went on counter piracy ops. We're trying to catch drug smugglers, you know, trying to do exercises so that Iran isn't thinking they can mine the Strait of Hormuz, all these things that we do. And you don't even think about it in the moment. But for me, the most terrifying thing that happened was that day of the world's my oyster, and can I do it? Can I provide for my family? And am I going to be successful or not? Yeah. But to your point, what I didn't do, and I knew I was going to retire a year or two out. What I didn't do was that prep work. I didn't really have any guidance from my folks in the military telling me, hey, you better start building your network. Right. You better start meeting and greeting, doing some soul searching on what you want to be when you grow up. Yep. All of those things, which I think that's changing a little bit in our military now. But because what I'm seeing from the folks that are coming to Operation New Uniform is they still are struggling with that identity versus role. Yep. Who am I when I'm not wearing, you know, this uniform and I'm not ops or weps? But you know, they're doing a better job of reaching out sooner, and there's, you know, the programs that they're getting involved in. But it is definitely key. The way to do it right, if you're still active duty, is start building that network and making those plans now.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Wally, you get final word, my friend.
I think what attracts so many veterans to entrepreneurship is you work your way up in the military, whether you're there 3 years, 5 years, or 50 years. And you're accustomed to being in charge and leading people. The idea of getting a job and starting at the bottom is awful. Right. But the idea of starting something and being on top of something that big and then building it, I think that's the attraction that so many of you have been successful
well, you can be your own boss, right? And you know what it takes because you've been trained. And that hopefully transitions into the new life.
That's right.
Well, we wish you all the best. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Good luck to
Cheers.
BodyAqua. Make sure
Get
you
over here,
check
Calvin.
that
Come
out.
on, Calvin.
We love our veterans on this show, no doubt about it. That'll do it for us right here on The Horse's Mouth on Buzz TV, brought to you by the firewatch.org, a veteran suicide prevention program that we are honored to talk about here on this show. So until next time, stay safe out there, be cool, and we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.